What is going on, guys? Ryan back here with you. Spro, Northwest Georgia High School angler, senior this year. Really just want to sit down and talk to y'all about what's going on Lake Nickajack and Lake Chickamauga, and what I'll be throwing in the next coming months and weeks on tournaments. First off, I want to say thank you to all the high schools and sponsors that have been put into this year and how this year has been. I want to thank Spro. I want to thank Gamakatsu for always helping me, Bass Pro Shops, and Mercury and Minn Kota. A lot of the guys this year I've been talking to it. The fish have been finicky. The fish have been moving in different areas and other stuff. But my best baits have been coming off some different stuff. On Lake Chickamauga, they are moving deeper. They are moving different situations. I have caught them up shallow about this time of year, but they're moving out to the ledges. They are moving down the lake and moving into the ledge fishing of Lake Chickamauga. Everybody knows. Lake Nickajack, they're still shallow. They're still moving up. They won't move off to the ledges on Nickajack until later this year, once it gets super hot, like August and July and August. But I want to go over some of the baits that I've been throwing on both Lake Chickamauga and Lake Nickajack, catching them. First off, these are not sponsored baits. These are just baits I go buy. I believe in, that I love, and catch them on. I'm gonna tell you the rod and the reel, the line I'll use too on these. So let's get into it. First off, I have a All-Star AST EMA rod with a Lew's LFS 10 bearing reel. This is a, I can't remember, yeah, it's a 7.5-to-1 reel with 12-pound Suffix fluorocarbon with a Strike King Hack Attack swim jig with a Zoom speed crawl on the back of it in bluegill. I'll fish this around docks and brush and open water and around grass on Nickajack. That's what I'll throw this thing around. I caught a 5-pounder on it the other day. Fishing this thing, just moving around because the bass are moving back off the bed and still guarding fry. Second off, this is a Bass X medium 6/8 rod with a Shakespeare reel, which this is a cheap reel that I have. I love. I use it on my kayak too, with a Lucky Strike wake bait with 10-pound Gamma edge line. I'll throw this thing in the early mornings and the late afternoons, or when I see them schooling. You can bring this thing real slow across the top of the water and just make a good wake. It won't go no deeper than 1 foot unless you start cranking on it. After that, I have a Quantum. This was one of their older reels with a XO PT. I think this is a 7.5-to-1 gear ratio with 10-pound Suffix fluorocarbon with a Strike King Bully 1.0 on it. I throw this thing around everything. When I'm not getting good bites, this is what I'll pick up and throw on Nickajack. After that is a good old trusty wacky worm rod, my spinning rod, which a lot of people that is fishing post spawn fish will not have a spinning rod out. I still love a spinning rod. I have a Gander Mountain, one of their older reels with a Daiwa Regal on it with 10-pound braid with a 8-pound fluorocarbon leader with a VMC Nico hook. I'll throw this wacky worm around everything if I can't get a bite. That's one of my go-to baits. After that, I have another Quantum rod. This is the G-Force 7-foot medium heavy, and this has a Shimano Corrado 70 on it. This is one of the best reels I have, and the line on it is 12-pound Sunline Sniper with a Rains tungsten on it and a Gamakatsu Aaron Martin's finesse hook. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's a lot different than everything else I'll use when I'm flipping. It's real small, real vertical that I like. You don't have to have that big hook when I'm flipping. I'm not flipping that big 5/0 hook. When I stick them with this, they're getting stuck, and I know it because it's so small and sharp. Getting them out of cover, getting them out of different stuff like docks and other stuff. And then very last, I've been throwing it a bunch here lately because of the fry garters. This is a Spro Poppin' Frog. It's in a really cool color. It's one of the newer colors come out last year. This has 60-pound, I think it's 60-pound Bass Pro Shop or Yozori braid. I think this is Yozori braid in green with a Team KVD reel, a Kistler 7-foot extra heavy. I cannot, and I think this is a Helton, LTA rod. This is one of my go-to rods when I have that. When I'm throwing that frog, it's got a good tip on it. So when I make that pops with this popping frog, it's making a good pop. I can let it rest with that braid and let it just sit there. And then that extra heavy, after that little first like 2 or 3 guides, that stops, and then I can load up on them real good and everything. But when I'm throwing this, I'll throw this early in the morning, like real early, right after daylight. Throwing it around trees, around brush, around anything in the water, like grass or something else different. I'll throw that if I see them schooling, or I hear more frogs around me, I'll throw that. But that's really my go-to setup. I do have a Whopper Flopper tied on in the boat somewhere. I got done with a tournament last week on Watts Bar. Didn't do real good. I threw everything I just showed y'all. But I went to Nicky Jack and caught them the next day. But y'all have a good day. Have a safe rest of the year. I'll holler at y'all.